Okay, I don't know where to start, so I'll start over here. El Camino, here's the rust panel. Rust panel ended up being this panel. So this panel got ordered today. It's rear window sill something or other. I forget what it's called. So that one's on order. OPGI had it in stock, so hopefully it'll be here in a week or so. I'll get this thing cut apart. Beds about 70% prepped. We got most of the rust stuff taken care of and got the panel out, so we're almost ready for bed liner and almost ready to put this on the lift and cut that floor out. Buick, we ordered vintage air conditioner for the Buick today. So we've got the dash all taken apart, dash pads pulled off, things out of it, heater box is out. So there's no listing for vintage air for a Buick, so I'm doing a custom install between. So they're sending me an Oldsmobile kit. So they have a kit for an Oldsmobile, a 68 Oldsmobile, that has the correct block offs for the heater fan and the heater box, the lines, the pump. They have a bracketry for the rocket motor, so I'm getting bracketry for the rocket motor. The Oldsmobile kit versus a Chevelle kit has an air bar that goes down underneath the dash right here. So there'll be like, it'll stop over here and there'll be an air bar that comes over. So there'll be a vent here and then two in the center. And then I have one extra to put over on the driver's side on the opposite side of the steering column. The Chevelles have vents in the dash. So you would normally plumb those up to the vents in the dash. But this one doesn't have dash vents. So, sorry, pause. I had a call coming. Anyway, so it's essentially an Oldsmobile vintage AC kit, but the condenser and the core support was all Chevelle. So I had to have them at Vintage Air put a Chevelle condenser and dryer can and mounting brackets in with the Oldsmobile kit to try to retrofit all this stuff together to make it all jive for a Buick, because Vintage Air doesn't make a kit for Buick. So that's where we're at with the Vintage Air. We've got all the side trim off of the Buick now, and I started in on metal, and we found a little hole. Looks like when the car had gotten repainted before, they bonded over these rust holes because there's filler down inside this hole. So I got to get this cut out and then make a piece. I'm not going to worry about buying a piece for that because I can make it on the brake pretty quick. And we'll get that cut out and replaced. And then we're going to start sanding on this here. I don't know, it's the next one on the list. We're going to sand it here as soon as we can. So, got the YJ in process. I wanted to have it moved over to the paint booth by now. If you're painting cars, if you're working on cars, don't paint over the stickers. Don't paint over protective plastic. Don't paint over anything. Take it off and sand it and prep it right, because I found a whole bunch of crap on this thing today. Unbeknownst to me, the Jeep had been repainted before and in a front end collision, so the grill was all full of mud. This is kind of all wadded up here. The fenders are really dented, both sides, from the hood getting slammed. You don't have to slam the hood on a YJ because they have latches. But anyway, I had two full coats of paint on it, and then there's filler underneath. And there's a whole bunch of these chips all over the front of the vehicle. So we started trying to what's called feather edge those out and sand them down and make a nice transition to be able to prime on it. But as you can see, nothing really survived on that hood. And then I mentioned it had been in a front end collision. Well, the front edge of the hood is really beat up and it was full of mud, and there's a big body repair right here. And these edges down the hood were folded and walked, and then the side of here and the side over here had filler because it was pooched out from it being folded. So I had it on the bench earlier and did the metal work on it. So it's all metal prepped now except for this one corner. I'm gonna work on it in the morning. We'll throw it back up and put some mud on there, and it should be ready for primer. It's probably going to take 2 steps of primer on that hood. The front end, I 80 gridded everything out. I'm going to switch to 180, and I've got the whole rig 180'd. I'm ready to start in on fenders, and I've got these were just chips in the paint, but you can see how far I had to feather edge just to get those flat. There's quite a bit of material they left on it. Couple of dents over here, then I'm going to metal finish tomorrow. There's one right here in the corner, right there, and there's one on this door right here. So I'll get those all metal finished, and then I'll lay filler on everything hopefully tomorrow. As soon as the filler's done, we should be able to lay primer. I was ready for bed liner last week, and I'm ready to paint these inner fender wells, but because I'm so close on the outside, I stepped back away from this to prep the outside so that I can move the whole vehicle to the paint shop, and then we'll just do coating, and it'll be all done. So that's the plan with that one. The Bronco. Alright guys, I got stuff all over the place. I'm doing my best for you, I promise. So the Bronco, we tore the drivetrain out of it, so the transfer case is over here. We ordered a seal kit for it, but of course seal kit's for a Dana 300 and not for the Dana 20, Dana 18 that it said it was for. So we're gonna get our new gaskets tomorrow because these are worthless. Those are good, so we'll use those. We'll put new seals, new gaskets, all that new stuff in the transfer case. The transmission, so this is a 3-speed on the tree behind a 302, and they use a adapter, transmission adapter. And when we had to pull the transmission adapter out with a transfer case just to take a look at everything and reseal it, and we noticed that when we pulled the old one out, the ears on the back of this had been broke off. Basically they were cracked and smudged, and it was about ready to come out of the vehicle. So we sourced a new one. This is the new used part from Tom's Bronco Parts down in Medford. So he actually ordered this on Monday and it showed up this morning. Thank you, Tom's Bronco Parts. So that's the new tail shaft adapter. There's a seal down in here that we sourced today from Napa. That got replaced. New transmission mounts, new transmission hardware. That's all good. So when we get our seal kit tomorrow, and shoot, there's one other thing that he's going to pick up tomorrow. We should be able to put the drivetrain back in. The rear axle's done in the Bronco. So we tore the third member out and checked all the bearings and seals in the third member. And so now it's got a new lube blocker gasket. So it doesn't actually have sealant, it has a lube blocker. It's a reusable, high quality gasket. Then we replaced the copper crush seals and replaced the hardware on the third member. So it's all good to go and all brand new. The brakes out here had just been redone. So those are all good to go. The front axle we stripped down and reassembled already. But the entire guts of the front axle, the hubs, the disc brake conversion, bearing, seals, everything is all brand new and was done right before the customer purchased this vehicle. So front axle's good, rear axle's good, third member's installed, transfer case, that's on the table. We pulled the carburetor to install electronic choke. The choke wasn't hooked up in this vehicle. It is a pretty close to OEM restoration build, but it should have a Motocraft on it. And being it already has a Holly on it, I'm not too worried about the OEM-ness of it, and we went ahead and put electronic choke. So that way you don't got to run the manual choke. It'll just do its job by itself. So that got reinstalled today. We just got to wire into an accessory off of the key tomorrow, and we'll have choke. Heater box. So we got a whole new heater box kit for this thing. Somewhere over here, over the rainbow. There it is. So there's a whole new heater box, new vents, new heater hoses. Here's the ignition lock cylinder, not the actual lock cylinder, but the back part of it to get the ignition to stay in place. New fan, heater core, vent block offs, a bunch of stuff from Tom's Bronco parts. So we've got most of what we need for the Bronco to finish up mechanical. And then when mechanical's done, then I'll jump on body and detail. So Bronco's in process. That's YJ, that's Bronco, El Camino, Buick. This semi-nose is a what is it, Kenworth maybe? International, I don't know what it is. It's a wrecked semi-nose, and this is for Katie Sand and Gravel over in West Salem. I've done some work for them in the past, and they're just trying to get another work truck on the road. I've had this here for a little bit. When he dropped it off, he's like, it's no big rush. The truck's been wrecked for years, and I just kind of trying to get it going and back to work. Well, that was right about the time that I picked up real good in the shop, and so I kind of kicked it to the back burner because he told me it wasn't a big deal. And then he called me about 3 weeks ago and said, hey, I got to get that truck back to work. We're so busy, I can't have this truck down anymore. I didn't think I was going to need it, but now I need it, so I need it. This whole center section, it got in a wreck. So this whole center section got blasted out of it. The secondary piece over here was ripped off. This was ripped off. This was ripped off. This is broken. That was broken. This is broken. That was broken. All this stuff up in here. Oh, that's all missing and gone. Same thing over here, that's missing and gone. So we had to lay this up in 3 stages. First stage was prep, disassembly, and then getting this first piece in. This all goes in together. So we had to put this piece in first, lay it up, glue it. I came in this morning, laid all this up and glued it, and got it clamped. So tomorrow we should be able to pop all the clamps, and then I should be able to start working fiberglass into the actual seams and start rebuilding some of this from the top. So I'll just put a light layer on the top up here to rebuild the structure, and then we'll flip this whole thing over, and then from the back in here is where I'll build up all the thickness that I need to get that. But you can kind of see that this was torn completely out and around, so I got to re-glass this and glass back in here and all this stuff. Same thing over here. This is all busted, and then it busted up into here and around to the front. So all that stuff's got to get glass encapsulated. Well, hopefully I got time to work on that tomorrow. Between everything else, we brought a. I'm just gonna keep going, guys. Whatever. So we brought, not my Cherokee. My Cherokee went on the medical coils today. Woo, baby. She's looking good. I wrecked some stuff while I did it. We'll talk about that later. Here's the other 01. So I went and picked this up from Traditional Auto Body yesterday. I appreciate you guys out there. Had a good chat with Robert and Bob. It was good to see Bob. Anyway, this thing's got a slight collision in the front, but the big complaint is the broken uniframe at the steering box. He's got a couple other things on the list. Install a hitch, do some other stuff, but that one's kind of the freshie. Mr. Camaro, we got a whole big ass stack of race car parts. You guys want to see race car parts? I got race car parts in here. Oh, back behind this table, back behind that table, back behind this table. Oh yeah, those are all Camaro race car parts. fast intake, fast auto body, fast fuel rails, 3-inch exhaust, QA1 coilovers, QA1 coils, QA1 sway bars. What do we got? We got UMI performance, trans-tunnel brace, control arms, Watts link, and something else. And the last two things I'm waiting for. So I made a big order with Texas Speed and Performance. I got the top end package coming with the Tsunami V2 cam, 2.5 heads, cathedrals, aluminum, CNC ported, all that good stuff. And then BMR is the last one I'm waiting on. BMR is sending me the front tubular control arms, the front K-member, basically the whole front setup. I have weld-in, sorry guys, I'm losing the terms now. I have weld-in frame stiffeners, subframe connectors, that's what they call them in cars. I have weld-in subframe connectors and gaskets and stuff. I gotta order brakes, and that'll be the last parts order I need for the Camaro. Supra. Oh, Supra. One more day. I'm putting paint in there. Give me one more day. I'll put paint in there. When that day comes, we'll see. Drive lines are still out for the Chevy. As soon as I get drive lines, Chevy will be done. Promise. It'll be done. Front clip for a Civic coming in. I have two Civics coming in. One's a race car Civic. One's a JDM right-hand drive Type R. Fuck yeah. I got a Bronco coming on the 10th. We're going to do a resto on a 82, 84 Bronco. The bullnose Broncos. Yeah, I love those things. And yeah. Thanks, guys. I love you. Thanks for keeping me working. Thanks for the support. We'll keep going along. I'm kind of burnt, I'm kind of tired, and I'm still pushing. But I enjoy the hell out of it. So I'll catch you guys later. Have a good night. I'm gonna get some dinner.